Hi, my name is Kristen. Welcome to the morning yoga flow. We will start in a seated position, Sukhasana. This morning we'll be focusing on new beginnings, which is a great theme for a class in the morning. New beginnings are a time of reflection on what has come before us. They're a time of letting go of the old and turning a new page in the book of our lives. And through this change, we can allow new experiences to come into our lives. So as we welcome the new, we can release the old patterns to make room for positive growth. Holding on to old beliefs that no longer serve us can hold us back from our true potential. Begin slowly deepening the inhalations and exhalations, creating a slight pause for a second or two between the inhale and the exhale. With every exhale, imagine that you're letting go of any false beliefs, experiences, or negativity you're still holding on to from the previous year, month, or day. Come to your hands and knees and bring your big toes to touch and widen your knees and sink back down into child's pose. Let your torso fall towards the ground. Rest your forehead on the mat or the ground or the carpet. Starting to deepen your breath. You can bring a stretch into the shoulders by bringing your hands up to your fingertips. Now come up to tabletop. If you have any knee injuries, be sure to put a mat or a blanket under your knees, and we'll begin flowing through cat and cow. Start on your hands and knees with your wrists directly into your shoulders and your knees directly into your hips. Point your fingertips to the top of the mat and spread your fingers wide. Place your shins and knees hip-width apart. Center your head in a neutral position and soften your gaze downward. Inhale as you drop your belly towards the mat, lift your chin and chest and gaze up toward the ceiling. Broaden across your shoulder blades and draw your shoulders away from your ears. Move into cat pose as you exhale. Draw your belly to your spine and round your back toward the ceiling. Inhale, coming back into cow pose, and then exhale as you return to cat pose. Continue with this flow. You can move from side to side, moving with the breath. Inhale, come to a neutral spine, and on the exhale, curl your toes under and shoot your hips back into downward facing dog. Ground down through the palms by spreading your fingers wide. Reach your sit bones to the sky and let your torso and ribs fall down towards your thighs. If you're tight in your hamstrings, you can bend the knees. You can pedal out your feet. You can come to your tippy toes. Take another really big inhale. As you exhale, walk your feet up to the front of the mat. Come to a standing forward fold. Your feet are big toes touching with heels slightly apart or hip width distance apart. On the inhale, halfway lift, exhale, forward fold. On the inhale, have a slight bend in your knees and swan dive your arms wide and up as you come to a standing position. Exhale, palms touch at heart center. And inhale, sweep your arms around and up, look towards the sky. And as you exhale, fold over, hinge at the hips, swan dive over your legs into standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, ankles, or to the mat. Exhale, come to a high plank and lower very slowly all the way to the ground, belly on the ground. Inhale, cobra up, open the chest and shoot the crown of the head to the sky. Lift through the core and the muscles in the back. take an inhale here, and then exhale and lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, walk your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Grab onto your elbows, bend your knees, and hang over into ragdoll pose. Shake your head yes and no, sway from side to side. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, swan dive up, hands and eyes to the sky, palms to touch. Exhale, palms touch at heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga or high plank. Lower down and flow through chaturanga. You can do cobra pose or upward facing dog. Take a few breaths in cobra or upward facing dog. Make sure that you're not crunching in the neck and push your shoulders down away from the ears. On the exhale, shoot your hips back into downward facing dog. Lengthen through the torso and shoot your sit bones up to the sky. Push your shoulders away from the ears. On the inhale, lift your right leg up into three-legged downward facing dog and open up the hips. You can bend at the right knee. Your gaze can be slightly to the right towards the ground or maybe even towards the heel of your raised leg. Exhale, lower the leg back down to the ground. Inhale, left leg up, bend at the left knee to open up the hips on the left side. Your shoulders are soft. You're grounding through your hands, spreading your fingers wide. Exhale, left foot to the ground. Inhale, right foot up. Exhale, sweep the right leg through and come to a high runner's lunge. Inhale, arms to the sky. Scoop your tailbone under. The gaze is slightly upward. Your right knee is stacked over the right ankle. Sink a little bit deeper, maybe find a back bend. On the exhale, hands come to the ground, and we shoot the hips back into downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg comes up into three-legged down dog. And on the exhale, send your left foot through your arms and place in between your palms. Ground down through the feet, and on the inhale, lift up and send the arms up to the sky along with your gaze. Push your shoulders away from the ears, scoop your tailbone under, and find lengthening. Inhale, maybe find a back bend, and then exhale, hands down to the ground, and we will move through chaturanga, high plank, low push-up, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, down into downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale through your nose and a loud exhale through your mouth. Shoot your sit bones to the sky. Root down through your hands. Spread your fingers wide. Inhale, right foot up. Exhale, send it through your arms. Bring your left foot up to meet the right at the top of the mat. Big toes touching and heels slightly apart. Inhale up into chair pose, Utkatasana. Your arms are up towards the sky, gaze is slightly up. Scoop your tailbone under, shine your chest forward. Root through the four corners of your feet. Hands can come to heart center. Breathe. Another big inhale. Exhale, fold over the legs. Standing forward fold. Plant your hands, send your feet back into high plank and chaturanga, low push-up, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Right leg up into three-legged down dog. Keep the hips square and also keep the weight distributed evenly through your hands. Take one last inhale, and on the exhale, send your right leg through and softly place your foot in between your hands. On the inhale, lift your torso and arms up to the sky, high lunge. Send energy out of the left heel. Arms are high, you can bring hands to touch. Inhale, find a back bend. Exhale, hands come to the floor. Send the right leg back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up, three-legged down dog. Square your hips to the mat and evenly distribute the weight in your hands. Exhale, send the left leg through, plant the foot. Inhale, arms up, gaze towards the sky. Energy is coming out of the right heel. Left knee is stacked over the ankle at a 90-degree angle, or the knee can be slightly behind the ankle. Palms can come to touch. Inhale, find a back bend. Exhale, windmill the hands forward and plant the palms. Chaturanga. High push-up to low push-up, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Push the shoulders away from the ears. Let your head drop down. Lengthen through the neck and the spine. Shoot your sit bones up to the sky. Let your chest fall down towards the legs. Come to tabletop, then down to your belly. Rest your head to one side. Your arms are down by your sides, so your hands are by your glutes. Exhale and bend your knees, bringing your heels as close as you can to your buttocks. Reach back with your hands and take hold of your ankles, keeping your knees hip-width distance apart. Inhale and strongly lift your heels away from your buttocks, and at the same time, lift your thighs and chest away from the floor. Come into bow pose. Burrow the tailbone down toward the floor and keep your back muscles soft. Draw the shoulders down away from the ears. On an exhale, release. Come back down to the ground and rest your head on the floor, arms by your sides. Don't let go of your breath just yet. Continue to breathe in and out with an audible breath through your nose. Ujjayi pranayama. We will do bow pose one more time. On an exhale, bend your knees, bring your heels close to your glutes. Hands grab onto the ankles. Do your best to keep your knees hip-width distance apart. Inhale and lift up. Your gaze is forward as you lift your heels and thighs higher. Press your shoulder blades firmly against your back to open your heart up. Exhale, release. Rest your other cheek on the ground. Bring your hands up to your shoulders and flip yourself over and come to a seated position. We will do a couple boat poses. Boat pose is a great way to work the core. Begin in a seated position with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, balancing on your sit bones. You can even pull away the flesh from your sit bones. On an inhale, lift your feet off the floor. Keep your knees bent at first. Bring your shins parallel to the floor. You can stay here. Your arms are out wide, palms facing up. The most important thing to remember here is not to let the spine round. So if you need to keep your feet on the floor or slightly off the floor, that's okay. You're still working your core. Exhale and release the hands and feet to the floor. Rest here, take a couple breaths, and we will do it again. Inhale, lift your hands and feet off the floor. You can keep your knees bent or you can try to straighten them, making sure that your spine doesn't collapse. You want to keep your torso as upright as possible. Shine out through the chest, gazes upward. Exhale, release to the floor. Lie on your back with your knees bent and feet on the floor. Extend your arms along the floor, palms flat. Press your feet and arms firmly into the floor. Exhale as you lift your hips towards the ceiling. Roll your shoulders back and underneath your body. Clasp your hands and extend your arms along the floor beneath your pelvis. Straighten your arms as much as possible, pressing your forearms into the mat. Reach your knuckles towards your heels. Keep your thighs and feet parallel. Press your weight evenly across all four corners of both feet. To release, unclasp your hands and place them palms down alongside your body. Exhale as you slowly roll your spine along the floor, vertebrae by vertebrae. Rest here. We will do bridge pose one more time. Press your feet and arms firmly into the floor. As you exhale, lift your hips towards the ceiling. Roll your shoulders back underneath your body. If you'd like, you can try and clasp onto the ankles, or you can clasp your hands. If your shoulders are tight, keep your hands alongside the body with your palms pressing into the mat rather than clasping your hands or holding onto your ankles. On an exhale, release, coming down very slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. We will now do a supine twist on the right side. Bring your left leg up and over the right leg. Scoot your hips a little bit over to the left, and then let your legs and knees fall over to the right-hand side. Your arms are at a T. Let your head fall to the left. Keep both shoulder blades glued to the floor. You're not letting go of the breath just yet. Still engaging an audible Ujjayi pranayama through the nose. Feel a deep stretch through the spine. On an inhale, bring your head to face forward. Leverage your arms to bring your knees up. Uncross your legs. Scoot your hips a little bit to the right. Cross your right leg over your left. And let your knees fall down to the left side. Your arms are still at a T, and your head turns to the right side. Eyes are closed. Ujjayi pranayama engaged. Deep stretch through the spine. Shoulder blades are pressed to the mat. Inhale, your head comes up. Root down through the arms, bring the knees up. Untwist your legs. Sprawl your legs out and come to our final resting place, Shavasana. Your feet splay out. Your palms can be on the ground or facing upward. Roll your shoulder blades under. Scoop your tailbone under. Your face is soft. Your jaw is soft. Breathe in through the nose. Fill your lungs all the way up to the top. Hold. Exhale through the mouth. Audible sigh. All the way out. Inhale through the nose. Breathing all the way in. Pause. Exhale through the mouth. Audible sigh out. One more. Inhale through the nose. All the way up. Pause. Exhale through the mouth. Audible sigh out. Let go of the breath here and rest. If we allow it to, a new beginning can become a time to reflect on the past and bring awareness to any negative old things we're still holding on to. When we shed light on these things, we can learn to understand them and ultimately let them go. Consider that every second that passes is a new opportunity for a new beginning. In each moment, we can always begin again. Begin to wiggle the toes and the fingers, awakening the body. Bring your arms overhead, stretch through the legs and the toes and the fingertips. Deep breath in. Bend your knees and bring your feet up. Roll over to your right hand side and let your head rest on your right arm. Fetal position. You can keep the eyes closed. Push up through the arms and come to a seated position to the top of your mat. Sit up tall. Shine out through the crown of your head. Bring your palms touching at heart center. Let your lips touch your pointer fingers and middle fingers. I will end our practice with a quote by Jiddu Krishnamurti. It is only when the mind is free from the old that it meets everything anew, and in that there is joy. Namaste.